Hi, this is Ashley Rods. I'm just coming to speak to you about my story and my journey with mental illness, bipolar disorder, and mental health. Let me just start off in general and say hi. I'm Ashley. Don't mind the Bellatrix Lestrange hair at the moment. So, if you don't know what bipolar disorder is, it's also known as manic depressant. It is a brain disorder. Reading verbatim definition is a brain disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity level, and the ability to carry day-to-day tasks. There are 4 different types of bipolar disorder, and they all include clear change in mood, energy and activity level. They can range from extreme ups, elevated energetic behavior. These are known as manic episodes. And also you get your very sad, down, and hopeless episodes, which are known as the depressive episodes. There's less severe manic periods known as hypomania as well. There is bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymic disorder, and also other specified and unspecified bipolar and related disorders. So bipolar 1 is defined by manic episodes that last at least 7 days, or by manic symptoms that are severe that a person is immediately hospitalized. Usually the depressed episodes last about 2 weeks. Episodes of depression with mixed feelings are known as mixed cycles. Having manic depressant episodes, you can have manic and depressed symptoms at the same time. Bipolar 2 disorder is defined as a pattern of depressive episodes and hypomanic episodes, but not the full-blown manic episodes as described above. Cyclothymic disorder is defined by numerous periods of hypomania, as well as numerous of depressive episodes that last for at least 2 years. And these symptoms do not meet the diagnosis code of hypomania episodes and depressive episodes. There's also the other specified and unspecified bipolar and related disorders, and these are defined by bipolar disorder symptoms that don't match the 3 categories that I just listed. So basically going into my story before I go into my story, I want to give a trigger warning because some of the content of this video may be triggering to some. And obviously I don't want to trigger anybody, so it is sensitive matter. So my story goes like this. During high school, I was mildly depressed and anxious. I was always nervous being around people. I was always the quiet girl, quiet to myself. I was difficult home life. My mother were divorced. I had my stepfather at home who was pretty abusive mentally towards us growing up. I used to have to take care of my brother and sister during the weekdays when my mom worked at night. And I would put them to bed, give them dinner, make sure they did their homework, stuff like that. And during this time, I didn't have signs of anything bipolar, just depression and anxiety, but nothing of concern to go to the hospital or to the doctor for, in my opinion at least. And then I left for dorms for college in 2007. I was lucky enough to dorm with my friend at the time. And when I went to college, I got really, really, really depressed. I was on my own. I wasn't used to that. I was used to always taking care of somebody or taking care of my siblings. And to be on my own was almost traumatic. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I started cutting. I developed an eating disorder. I think the lowest I got down to was like 102 during this time. The scale became like my best friend. I used to weigh myself constantly and consistently during this time. I just wouldn't eat. I lived off of soda, surprisingly. During this time, I actually met someone off of MySpace. Yes, that's how long ago this is. And during that time, I was happy for a brief period. Started eating more, wasn't as depressed, stopped cutting. And then, unfortunately, this person had to go home after that semester of college. So he lived all the way upstate. So that meant the end of what that was. And that hurt me during that time. And yeah, that was the only person I really got close to during that semester. And unknowingly, actually, the benefit to that was I met my future husband, who was actually the person's roommate. So that's ironic on its own. So I went to the doctor during that time because of the depression, and they prescribed me Zoloft and told me I should go see a therapist. Of course, I didn't listen. I didn't go see a therapist, and I literally stopped the Zoloft basically right after they gave it to me because I didn't like how it made me feel. So during that winter, I started dating my ex-boyfriend and went back to school, and things were going pretty well for the most part of the time. I still had my depression here and there, and I had my eating disorder, but I was able to keep it under wraps pretty well. Sorry. And during the summer, that's when things kind of got worse. With my ex-boyfriend, there was this girl that sent me pictures of him that he sent to her, nude, and he claims that it wasn't during our relationship. She says it was, that whole jazz. And at that time, thinking I was cheated on just was something that I just did not handle really well. But despite that, I stayed with him. We went back to dorms, and that's when my drinking and my smoking heavily started. I would start going to class drunk. I used to have water, well, not water, but vodka in my water bottles, and it was never too early, too late to drink. Whenever, I was always down for a drink. And then me and my ex-boyfriend got really abusive towards each other, physically and mentally, emotionally, on both of our parts, but mostly on my part. I'll own up to that. And that's the time that I couldn't sleep. I started having really bad racing thoughts. I became very impulsive. I was always chasing that high, either due to drinking or smoking or just adrenaline high in general. I got very argumentative, very irritable. I would love to argue because arguing pumped me up, and that's what I was looking for, was a pump up. Unknowingly to me, this was my first manic episode, and this is the first one of many. I broke up with my boyfriend at this time and continued my behaviors as if they were normal because I wanted to do me, and that's what I was going to do at that time. And the next few months, I started dating my husband now, and I was slightly manic at the time, but I was happy. And then for no reason, I kind of just fell into like a depression, and my eating disorder kind of came back heavy. But for the next couple of years, I bounced back and forth from being hypomanic to depressed, sometimes both at the same time. My eating disorder would come and go when my moods fluctuated. And I was drinking and smoking, and it would come and go. Like, I would either do it really heavy or barely at all. It all depended on my mood and where I was feeling. I was in denial. I was in denial for many years regarding this problem, but with support from my husband, I finally made the choice to go see a therapist. And I went to go see this therapist, and I was very hesitant. And his name was Dr. Pearl, and he was one of very helpful persons in my life. I got really cool with him. Like, anyone who knows me knows I curse like a sailor. So being around him, I was able to talk freely, and that helped me express my feelings and my emotions. I was able to get out exactly what I was feeling and tell him what was going on. So we tried many different medications, from Cymbalta to Zoloft to Wellbutrin and Seroquel, Risperidone, whole list of medications that some I can't even remember. And we finally got a hit on couple regimens, so they worked out for me for a while. And then unfortunately I made the biggest mistake and thought I was better and I didn't need my medication anymore, and this led to one of the biggest episodes that I've had. And it led to being hospitalized, it led to suicide attempt, it led to me and my husband almost breaking up, it led to extreme alcohol abuse and substance abuse. And this is when I was first diagnosed with bipolar type 1. But this story is too long for this video, and I'll make it in the next video. So if you guys liked watching, I hope you did. I plan on doing more videos on my experiences and mental health and just different mental health issues in general. And by sharing my story, I hope I show everyone that it's okay if you need help, to seek out help, that you're worth it, and don't be ashamed to ask for help. It'll be okay. Take care of yourself. Love.